You're listening to the Classic Gamers Guild podcast.
This makes my nipples hard.
Hey there, and welcome to the show, or welcome back to the show. It's nice to talk with you again. Paul and I are doing a little bit of a less formal episode. It's not like you could really call any of our other episodes formal, but we don't have a game that we're talking about. We don't have a specific comparison that we're talking about. We are just talking about the Adventure Game Fanfare that we had the pleasure of attending. I think it was over the 25th to the 28th of July, and Paul and I actually got to go there together and meet for the first time and meet a whole bunch of other people for the first time, and many of the people even listening to our show right now, I think we met for the first time, so it was pretty wild. Hey, Paul.
Hi. It was the 26th to the 29th. I'm sorry. I know it doesn't matter, and I know it's over with, but, if we don't abide by some sort of rules, we will descend into chaos. Everybody is tired still, and we need to get an episode out tomorrow morning, and so we're just going to do a quick one. We're going to talk about the whole thing, and then we're going to stop talking, and that's how podcasts work. Ugh. Okay. We're immediately in danger. Yeah, I'm not. I kind of want to restart the whole episode, but I think we'll be okay. Depends on the next thing you say, is whether or not we start over. So let's see how you do.
So I caught a boat to Tacoma from Canada to America. This is the good stuff. And then I ran a caravan with a bunch of other gamers, and we all ended up in Tacoma to go to the Adventure Game Fanfare, and you caught a plane in. Huh?
Yeah, I did. Wow. All right. Yeah. I mean, look, my bar was respectfully pretty low, but I didn't think you'd toss it back to me that quickly. Like, we took a boat ride, and then it was over. And now it's your turn. Tell us. It's okay. It's all right. We're fine. Everybody's fine. You guys this is a good episode to do other things while you listen to it. I mean, maybe get some dishes done. If you hear us laugh, you can tap the back 30 seconds button and be like, what are they laughing at? And then move on. Because that's what I do. I don't know. I don't. Anna, you don't listen to podcasts, which is weird.
No, I do. Why would I listen to podcasts?
That's fair, because you make one. But that's a thing, I think, for well, at least it is for me. Like, I won't project onto our listeners, but if you're, like, half paying attention, but then you hear the host laugh, you just tap back real quick. Like, was that... I don't want to miss the funny thing. So anyway, look, I took a plane. It was super fun. I was with my son, Strummer. You could faintly hear him in the background, as always. And we had a really good time. Like, he was scared to leave home, much like I was as a kid, where you're like, you're going to miss the dog and the cat and, just miss home and not unsure of everything. And then we got to the airport and we had to take a shuttle, like a bus to the airport. Like, they didn't make enough parking spots for some reason. So, like, they have you park like a mile or 3 away, and that's not fun for anybody to listen to. I'm sorry. I don't know where the line is in this storytelling. Like
how much personal? Well, here's a quick overview of how we arrived, and then we're going to go through the momentous event that was it.
No, you know what? I'm dragging everybody through this goddamn bus ride. So
Take it.
So I pay $40 to take a bus to the airport, right? But no, my kid, the point of that little thing was that he was terrified to go on this trip for the most part, and then he was immediately sold because he was on a bus for the first time. And I was like, wow, like, if you're having fun on a bus ride, like, this is going to be a blast, because it's actually quite awful. And so, we got to the airport, and then we took a train to the thing. So it was like a bus and a train and a plane all in one day. His mind was completely fried. And then we get to Washington, which was gross. Man, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've heard Seattle is really nice. We went the other way. We went the TAC direction to Tacoma. PU. That place is, like, I feel like if anybody listening is in Tacoma right now, you probably agree. So I don't think I'm really offending anybody. If I am, I'm so sorry. I grew up in Jersey. I get it. I suffered with you at some point. I wasn't expecting it. Tacoma, they have a truck named after them. It's a lovely little compact Toyota vehicle. Like, you would think if you got a truck named after you, you're a decent you're a destination, and it's not. It was the worst. It was super gross. Anyway, like our hotel locked us in. That was the level we were at. And the first room that I got had a used bed in it. It was like the whole room was cleaned and vacuumed, but the bed was used. Like somebody's been eating my porridge, kind of used. And I'm just like, I'm not gently resting my head on these pillows tonight. Like somebody for sure had sex on this bed shortly before we got here. The sheets are still warm.
They only needed it for an hour is the thing. That's why they didn't quite get to it.
Ah, dude, yeah. No, you could smell the lube. It was wacky. But anyway, enough about lubricants and how gross Tacoma was.
Because I had a slightly different experience, right? Because
Yeah,
I stayed in DuPont, and next to a little military town of 30,000 people, and it had a breakfast bar and waffle makers and pancake makers and all the different foods, and it was like pristine. Like I swear somebody was out there sweeping the parking lot every single night. There was like ultra bright lights in every little dark corner, and the whole town was like quaint, like as if it was a cult from 1890. It was like Americana personified. If me as a Canadian, I was to be like, I'm going to visit an American town, that's kind of what it was like. It was beautiful. Tacoma itself, though, was a little bit rougher.
Yeah, the 7-Eleven had bars on the windows and a pit bull outside. Swear to God, just a random pit bull outside. Like, wow, this is almost cinematically bad. Like, whose pit bull is this? Seriously. But no, Anna stayed on the beaten path. I went a little rogue. Look, we won't get into it. Basically, I got what I deserved. And and Anna stayed in a lovely little military town. And I know those because my stepdaughter, her dad was her biological dad was in the military, and boy, do they sweep the grass with a broom in those towns.
They do.
That's how clean
Every bush had a military like top straight cut haircut. It was all very authentic.
Yeah.
There was like a TV screen with a giant flag and like a guy saluting at the front. It was
a good day to you, sir. Yeah, that's for our Lebowski fans. But okay, so timeline wise, then I'm in the hotel. It's pretty late. But, you know, jet lag and time zones, I mean, a time zone, but still, it's all very confusing. And Anna's like, I'm going to get pizza with Dave Gilbert. Do you want to come with? And I'm like, what a neat sentence. Like, of course I do. So I paced around the hotel room while just downing a slice of pizza for breakfast, like a 9 p.m. breakfast. But I was, like, pacing while I ate it so I didn't get tired. You know, you can't sit and eat or you're screwed. And I was already eating the pizza when I got this message, or else, you know, I would have yielded. But anyway, so then we go down to meet, Strummer and I go down to meet Anna and her husband and son. They know the names, right? James and Jacob. And I thought it was just you guys and Dave. But when we got there, it was like everybody that I've ever known was all there. And that was fun. That was a good kind of overwhelming.
It was great because as Paul and I have never met each other before, so it was like, oh, we should probably get this part over with, and we had a chance to finally meet and say hello to everybody else at the tables, and there was pizza and drinks that took a long time, but there was a lot of people to serve, and it was kind of a wild time. And I was right, Dave Gilbert was indeed there.
Yeah, exactly. She wasn't. That was true. That was
I didn't make that part up.
It was super cool. We kind of agreed pre-recording that we would try to avoid naming names because we'll inevitably forget them. And you don't want to forget anybody because every single interaction was super cool, especially when it comes to people that came up to us and said they listened to the show and things like that. So I don't want to mess that up. It feels pristine, those relationships, and we should keep it that way without forgetting the one person. They're like, wow, fuck you guys. I loved everybody that I met, which is a genuine statement, except for one person, and I'm not going to tell you guys who it is. So just know, I loved all of you, except for one of you. That's not true. That is true, actually. That actually is true, but it's not one of our listeners. It was just for fun, the little trickster in me is causing trouble right now. But yes, we met. Yeah. Trickster's been running a little wild this month. We could get into that with the panel thing later. But we met for the first time in real life after like at least what 4 to 6 years or something. What was that like?
Something like that.
It was.
What's that? Did you ask me a question?
Yeah. What was that like for you? Was it
Oh.
how weird was it?
It was like not weird at all. You were exactly as tall as I figured you'd be, and you looked exactly like I figured you'd look. And, Strum was there, and it was just very easy because I'm such like I don't know, like I've had boys, right? All my kids are boys and Strum's a boy. So it was all just very natural. The next thing you know, we're just best friends, and then Paul and I proceeded to ignore each other for the whole weekend. It was perfect.
Right, yeah, that's true.
Now that we've seen each other, and people kept saying, we're going to get photos of you guys, and somebody's like, we're going to record you guys talking together, and we're going to all this stuff. And we're like, yeah, no, we're totally game. Get us both in the same place for sure. But it turns out we're both such social, busy people. And there was just so much to do between the panels. We were both hosting the contests and whatever else, and running the booth, and having kids and family with us, and just general setup, that it just got to be a really busy weekend, which I loved. I loved every minute of it. Paul, I think you did too.
I do. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that was very hot potato of you, the way you just handed that over.
You're welcome. Not even with a question, as per usual.
Oh,
It's my
take this
MO.
shit. Say some more shit on this.
Here you go.
I was joking with everybody saying it was super weird meeting you, but it wasn't. It was just a fun joke along the lines of like when you wait too long to ask somebody what their name is. And then you can't. I was like, exactly. we waited too long to meet in person, and now I can't even make eye contact. But no, it wasn't like that at all. It was.
It was. We texted the whole time instead of talking. It was super cringe, right? No.
I like the idea of that being a rumor better. Yeah. But it was,
that's
as soon as we met, I'm like, oh yeah, we talked all the time, and throughout the years, like Anna's my she's even the person I'll be like, does this outfit look okay? Like we send each other ridiculous amounts of mundane life stuff. That there was nothing left in person. Like I think I'd even seen all the angles. It wasn't even like a weird facial angle that I had, that we hadn't seen yet. So that was that, and that was fun. Yeah, we got to meet everybody, and I think my two. It's weird. I don't know anybody in Colorado except for like kids, teachers, things and stuff. But it's like I don't actually have any friends here really. So like, and all my friends were there, and so that was something.
It was something.
Wasn't,
it was like everybody.
Wasn't it, Anna?
What?
There we go. That's.
Oh, gee,
potato.
Paul, it sure was. But no, every single person there had stuff in common. Like, I don't know how many times I heard the King's Quest 6 chime or Space Quest chime as a text notification or a ringtone that came from one of the games. I think I heard an Astro Chicken somewhere in there. It was like coming home. And it's not my first Sierra event. I've been to a few thanks to, Roberta and Rick and the Classic Gamers Guild and all the other stuff. But this is the first time where I'd actually been actively involved in the whole setup. I had the opportunity to host a panel on Phantasmagoria 2 with Matt Aucamp and conversations with Curtis, host Paul Morgan Stetler and Lorelei Shannon. And then I had the chance to do a trivia contest with Space Quest Historian.
Let's
you want to cut it out and go back?
No, I'm not cutting. That's don't be.
You can cut if you want.
Adorable. No, let's keep it. But let's stay on your first panel for a second, because that's.
Oh,
that's
sure.
words
Okay.
We can save for like 4 minutes or so. So Anna did a panel with Paul Morgan Stetler and Matt Aucamp.
Yes.
I tried to make that all one messy, sloppy word, like Aucamp. And then at the very end of the panel, Lorelei Shannon made it in what seemed like to the crowd just a random cameo appearance, but I guess she was actually supposed to be there the whole time. But you all know this stuff for facts, so why don't you say stuff on your panel? It was very good, by the way. It was super fun.
Thank you. It was great, actually. Matt and we threw away our whole script because we just had Paul Morgan Stetler at the beginning, and so we were like, well, we're both podcast hosts because, of course, Matt hosts the Savior Game podcast with Pushing Up Roses, and since we're both podcast hosts, we can just like take this and make it work, and we did, and we referenced notes a little bit, but it was championed really well. We got some great information, had some great talks. The panels were all put on YouTube. You can watch them at the Adventure Game Fanfare at the Hotspot on YouTube in the live tab. And I would, and then like just as everybody kind of started getting quieted down, we were doing some questions from the audience, and it was like 45 minutes in, Lorelei Shannon shows up randomly because her taxi or whatever was late, and it pumped like this massive energy into the show and into the crowd, and then we asked her a bunch of questions, and then her and Paul, who, as they do, they bounced off of each other so well, and then we did another mini Q&A, and it was like the next thing you know, the whole thing's over. It was so much fun.
It was really fun and interesting, and Paul is very much an entertainer, as you can tell, and so are you and Matt. Like, you know, I don't know where I'm going with this. Help me out. No, okay, it was that Paul was fun. He was like, he was there for it. You know, he wasn't just like,
100%.
Yeah, he wasn't like dragged up onto a panel, and like you get that vibe. I feel like from half the people involved with just panels in general. Granted, this was like a small niche thing, and almost I think everybody there was stoked to be there. But sometimes you do, or at least you kind of assume as people on the panel will be like sick of talking about the thing, and there was just none of that. He was really excited, and I got to ask him a question if he needed a walkthrough the first time he played the game, which he very much did. He played with Daniel Albu, which is very cool. It was like a weird full circle thing because I asked the question and then he answered. I'm like, I've seen that video. Never mind. I forgot that I knew this. But it was a good planted audience question anyway, I suppose. What was it like for you talking to... Well, okay, what was your... See, I don't want to get into that territory of, like, what's your thoughts on the people? Because then it's like, of course, we're just going to say nice things. And that's no fun to listen to. You know, because it's not. Oh, they were great. I loved him so much. Well, just assume that was everybody. That's...
Yeah, it really was, though. They were great. I mean,
oh boy, yes.
Those two have interviewed each other together on YouTube before. It's not the first time that they've chatted outside of the game, and so they're a bit more familiar with each other. So once the two of them got up on stage, it was just like gravy for sure.
What was your favorite moment of the panel?
Oh, my favorite moment of the panel was definitely when, two moments. My favorite one is just when Matt and I kind of looked at each other at the beginning, shrugged our shoulders and just said, let's just give her, let's just do this because, you know, we put our scripts all aside. But the second moment was when Lorelei walked in and the cheer started and her amazing purple hair and just coming up on stage and that blast of energy, like you could feel it in the air. That was like the coolest moment.
Right. Right. She had her personality, what I assumed based on nothing, like, you know, based on no grounds at all. I assumed that she would be how Jane Jensen was and vice versa. Like, I thought, for some reason, I thought Lorelei would be like more introverted and quiet and reserved and stuff like that. All things that Jane turned out to be. And then Lorelei was just super warm and open and huggy and, yeah, very cool. Cool Cadillac tattoo as well.
Exactly. And I like the idea of cosmic horror that she brought up, just sort of like horror, but not necessarily in this realm, in this world. And I love just the idea of goth and all of that mixed in with the genre. Like Lorelei is, I've met her a few other times at a few other Sierra events, but only on a fan level, not on a panel level. So in the past it was just, oh my god, I love your stuff, could you sign my book, could you sign my paper, could you sign my game, right? So yeah, this was kind of neat to be there in that way, and I've already had her sign my thing, so I just got to enjoy her company.
Nice, very nice. What about your second panel? Well, okay, panels are weird. We kind of, the whole weekend, everything got called a panel for some reason, even though most of it wasn't. Right. So what about your second time on stage out of 3?
Right, what did we do first? The trivia contest was, I think, the next one with the Space Quest historian, and it was
4.
Amazing.
Right, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. We each got to bring 4 people up onto stage, and then at first he was winning, but then I was winning, and then I totally won. So that was great, and it was good. You know what? It was really fun balancing the mic back and forth. And back to the panel before that, there was a moment when I was the one with Paul Morgan and Lorelei. There was a moment where I was talking about like some of my childhood stuff in relation to the game, and when I was looking out at the audience, a bunch of people nodded at me and then nodded at each other, and I was like, whoa. And it felt like, you know, the dopamine hit of like getting a really good handwritten letter in the mail, because that never happens. Like that really good kind of a feeling is what I got. But yeah, the trivia, what's that?
That was hyper specific. The handwritten letter.
Because my dad was a postie, so it's, mail is important
okay.
to
See,
me,
there's
probably
always-
out of proportion to other
Right.
people. Yeah.
No, we all dream of exactly that.
But yeah, no, back to the trivia thing was awesome. We bounced it back and forth really well. We switched turns, we read things. The game was won, and it actually, I don't know, it was like 30 minutes, and it was an absolute blast. I would totally do that again.
It was sincerely fun to listen to. Even Strummer got through it. He was more patient through that than he was through the awards thing. Like, he actually kind of sat and dealt with it. Let's say. A quick side note: I was having a little messenger chat with Matt Allcamp after the fact. See, you go to these places, you make friends for life. I was like, "Hey, Matt, co-host of the other podcast in the network." No, we were having a chat, and this is for any listeners that are aware or enjoy Bad Religion, the band. Settle down. Let's bloody not get political or whatever. And there were no Greg Graffin, and we were talking about all the things, and I was like, you could switch out Greg Graffin and Paul Morgan Stetler, and it would probably play like exactly the same. Like, they have the same, more specifically, like Curtis the character and Greg Graffin. Like, they both have this like professor sort of vibe with like, but like a plain T-shirt kind of guy, and like, and I don't know. That either makes sense to the listeners or it doesn't. So let's just swiftly move on. But man, I hope like one of you is like fucking. Oh, sorry, Jesus Christ. I hope one of you is like, yes, just gets that exact rush, and it'll have been worth it. That whole thing.
It will have.
But back to so you did the game show with Chosen.
After that, I did the game show, and then after that, and I changed. So I did all that in my Passionate Patty outfit, which was the best story for me of the weekend, because I couldn't bring my coconuts into America, and I couldn't find any coconuts at all the grocery stores and Fred Meyer's that I tried out here. So we ordered some coconuts on Amazon, but they didn't arrive in time. So we bought like a pack of brown multicolor markers at Fred Meyer, and we bought a grapefruit. And while I was doing my other stuff, my husband was resolutely trying to turn this grapefruit into a coconut, but almost all the markers were dead. And even though it was like a 12-pack of Sharpies, right? So anyways, he ended up sort of drawing the idea of a coconut onto the coconut, because I wanted, for Passionate Patty, she had the rip dress and the halter top thing, and then a coconut in a bra so she could throw it at the boar. Now, technically, it would be 2 coconuts, but I can't push my luck here. And then I had the dry erase markers so she could actually finish the level at the very end. And I had the, what else? I didn't end up having a joint, because I know she smoked a joint, because if she had that, she would have died. But yeah. Anyways, it was fun.
I couldn't help but notice you name dropping Fred Meyer a few times back there.
It's very big. They had a jewelry store in it, Paul. They had
Is this
a liquor
Canadian
store.
thing?
I've never heard of a Fred Meyer. Like, they're here.
Oh.
I've never been in one. It's an American thing. Do you not have Fred Meyer?
I don't know Fred Meyer.
It's like the it's like the Costco of grocery stores, I think.
It's very much not, because I've never heard of it. I've lived in several states, and I've never once. I mean, California, Florida, Jersey, Colorado. That covers.
Must be
They're
West
all
Coast.
the regions.
That's
okay,
funny.
well, I was just curious. For those listening who wondered about the coconuts and what they turned out like, it was very much, if you could picture this, picture an orange with a little bit of brown on it in a few places. That's what the coconuts look like. And then Anna texted me before we'd met that day. She's like, something, because we're both like rushing to get out our respective doors to the thing, because being on time is hard. And she's like, something. I have to get coconuts. And I'm just like, what? Like, I'm like, do they not I went through this whole mental trip on the ride there. I'm like, I guess they don't have coconuts in Canada, so it's like a big deal to her to get them while she's here. Like, but they're not even that good. Does she know they're going to be a little disappointing? And like,
They are
this whole thing. I didn't
disappointing.
realize it was for your costume, so that was fun.
So after I had the costume together, I got to host the costume contest with Gareth, which was, he was dressed as Leisure Suit Larry, as you'll see in the
Nailed it.
pictures. It's he did it, the best costume ever. It looked fantastic. And then there was only so many people in costumes. There would have been more, but flights were delayed. Long story short, everybody was a winner.
Gareth just killed it. It made the whole weekend so surreal, because he was often in the Leisure Suit Larry's.
Yep.
So it was just like you'd like walking down the hallways and you'd pass Leisure Suit Larry, and then you'd go to pee and be like, "Oh, hey Larry!" Like I went into the green room to get changed, and he was already in there, as Larry might be, like waiting for people to get changed. I mean, sorry, Garrett's, he wasn't being nefarious or anything. He was just, changing himself or whatever. But it was just funny, like go into the changing room for like a moment of privacy, and there's Larry like creeping around. Sorry, Garrett. He wasn't creepy. He was dressed as Larry. It comes with the wig or whatever. But man, he nailed it. Full commitment, full sin. Gotta respect it.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And
that was really. Go ahead.
Well, the game show was super fun because you got to pull up a lot of our network members and friends up on stage, and at some point Trolls pulls up Adventure Game Geek, and they just start crushing Anna until Geek is like, "So here's the thing. I actually wrote some of these questions. Maybe I shouldn't be up here." And it was only at that moment that Geek, left that Anna started winning, which felt a little coincidental.
Funny that. Well, that's the thing, because, I kept picking just like mostly random people from the audience, but then I think I also picked Dave Gilbert, didn't I? So, or no, did I pick Francisco? Yeah. Somebody. But anyways, either way, it was a great time. It was like when I was telling my family I was going to be doing these things like 6 months ago, I'm telling them like as if I'm humoring myself. Like, this all sounds so ridiculous. How can me, like this person that lives on an island in Canada, be doing trivia shows or costume contests or panels? Like, it all just seems silly. Like, I felt like I was telling them because I should, but there was no real reason to. And then it's like, oh, this all are things I'm actually doing, like, for real in real life. And it was surreal.
So wait, you do live on an island. Do you or do you not have coconuts?
We do. We have many coconuts, but they don't grow natively. We have to buy them at the grocery store like everyone else.
Everybody else. That's right. Okay, I'm just checking. I don't like coconut milk personally. Coconut juice.
I like baby coconuts. The milk in it tastes kind of like roasted almond.
Right, a nutty milk. It's very. Yeah. I don't know. I don't like the way it looks cummy. I can't. Yeah. I can't handle it, but man, y'all know it does. I'm sorry.
Just a lot, if you're thinking about it in those terms.
Man, yeah. But how do we progress from there?
Well, I mean, now we're done with my exciting things, and then because that kind of takes, and then after the panels and the shows, on Friday in the variety contest on Saturday. Did you do panels on Saturday? Or was it just on Sunday?
I had 2 on Sunday. Yeah, I didn't
right.
do. I guess on Friday I got to play the Leisure Suit Larry theme with Allo, which was surreal. And that was insane. And Trolls on drums, Mick Council on bass, and Eric Elsom on keys, which is, I was just stalling for a second because Jackie didn't sing, but stalling for a second because I think I guess they all haven't been on. They either have been on the show or listened to the show. Like, it was very, the whole experience was super surreal on many different levels. Like, I think, to steal a line from One Short Eye, who's a dear friend of mine, like, it was super weird because I talked to One Short Eye and Anna the most in my real life outside of even adventure games, and they were just both there. Like, just that alone, like, it was so layered and wild. But to steal One Short Eye's line, it was like I went there expecting the highlights to be playing with Al Lowe and meeting Ken and Roberta and all of that, and it wasn't. Like, it was really just like, like looking over and seeing Mick playing on bass or drums on. Oh shit! Sorry guys, are we keeping that? No.
Sorry, that's a good lead into when you start talking about your panel.
Right. Anyway, it was super trippy to just see all these people that you actually know on. I was so taken back by that at times I think I forgot to notice if it was actually Al Lowe on the saxophone. And we did a good job. I thought we kind of nailed it. I was surprised that we nailed it because we had never played together. We had rehearsed it 2 times. It's like a 30-second song, and we had only gotten to run through it twice, 2 or 3 times before. And that was way earlier in the day. So we all got in Thursday night. Friday morning at 9 or something, we rehearsed it together without Al. So not even knowing like what tempo he wanted. And of course, when he got there, he's like, faster. I want it faster. And we're all like, uh-oh, faster's harder. And then we rehearsed it in the morning, and then we didn't get to play it till later at night. For me, it felt like days since we had played it together. I'm just like, oh shit, like I kind of forgot everything that we had done, and we got one go at it, and it was really good. Trolls is a great drummer. He undersells himself a lot, but man, he really kept it together. And I know that like jazzy cocktail kid isn't necessarily his style, and he killed it.
No, it was great. I recorded it, so I recorded sort of all those little bits and pieces. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. So okay, all right. So we went back to Friday. And by the way, that timer that blasted in everybody's ear that I guess we're not editing because we didn't give it really space to make an edit, that's me saying we should stop this episode soon. Right, because if we self-indulge on this, it'll be like an hour and a half, and everybody will be like, oh my god, please stop. Like, we weren't there. Mm-hmm. Or, like, if you weren't there, you'll care less and less as time goes on. So we're going to stop soon. But we'll finish our things, because we didn't talk about meeting the people yet. Or any of the other panels. Where do you want to go with this?
Well, let's just briefly fly into a Saturday, because after everything and after the party and after the karaoke and everybody went home, and then Saturday came, and then it was pretty much just running the Phantom Fellows booth, which, by the way, the Phantom Fellows got amazing representation over this weekend because of people wearing the shirts and just being in photos and being talked about and being in the background of pictures. And I was really happy about that. And then throughout the day on Saturday, a bunch of alumni kept showing up. So I was taking pictures of them on the stage, and then more and more of them kept showing up. And the next thing you know, you've got, Mark Crow and Roberta Williams and Ken Williams and a million other people that, like, I'm going to miss saying their names unless I go into this list here. But yeah, we're going to end up with... well,
let's see. Douglas Herring was there, right?
Yeah,
right.
Deborah Todd from Reader Rabbit. We had Cade Peterson, who's doing the
well, no, don't leave alumni, because then we'll have to name all the other people too.
Oh gosh, yeah, I was just reading the people that were doing the panels.
Please stop.
Oh no. Dave Gilbert.
No, he's not an alumni.
Charles Cecil.
Oh, now you've done it. No, Cecil wasn't there though. He was on video. I was so bummed about that too. I was looking forward to meeting Cecil, but he was a video dude. So was Josh Mandel. Their
George
giant
the Fat Man
faces on
Sanger
screen.
was there.
Yep, that's true.
Yep.
So
we were in a booth next to the Coles, which was pretty epic because, it's like, oh, who am I going to talk to, Rand? And we were also next to the Perfect Tides booth, and it was like, who do we have to talk to? Some of the most amazing people here at the fanfare, really. It was just lovely having so many friendly faces and, all the other devs and games that were there and just so many conversations. I ended up missing a lot of the panels because I knew I could catch them online, but I can't catch those little conversations and interactions online. Those only happen during the event.
Right, and that was the right way. We got to be in the moment, and we got to see. I was talking to the devs like Meredith and Luke and Chili, specifically. Like they were kind of our little crew around us that weekend. Like as far as where the Phantom Fellows table was, and that was the experience. Was like I kind of felt like I actually left like with new friends, which was wild. Because people say that kind of stuff in like a romanticized way, but it actually happened. Like they're like super. Everybody was just super cool, and I guess it's kind of no wonder because if we're all there, then a large part of our childhood was shaped by these games and such. So that's got to have an effect on a good third of your whole personality. So it's like when you get there and you're like, wow, I get along with all these people. That's so weird. It's not that weird. Like it's, it would be weird if it was a random like convention, but it's like you guys all sought this specific thing out. Like, of course you're going to probably get along, which we do with everybody except for that one mysterious person.
Yeah, that guy, that girl, that person.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Also, Al Lowe was there, Jane Jensen, Robert Holmes, Richard Aronson, Al Eufrasio.
There you go. She found the right list, guys.
A lot of people.
She was reading the
I got the right
list.
Definitely. Definitely the wrong. Oh, and the voice of Guybrush Threepwood was there.
Yeah, he brought us on stage, so that was cool. We got to hear Guybrush be like, and now coming up is Anna and Paul from the Classic Gamers Guild podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thank you, Guybrush.
Dominic
This is
Armato,
the weirdest of
yes.
all nights.
It was very surreal. Oh yeah, and then it's not been put out there, the video, but Paul and I got to go up and give a little award on Saturday, and we had a little bit, and it was scripted, and it was funny. I mean, from stage it felt fun, and then I had a few people come up after and say it was their favorite little skit, so.
Yes, it was sticky.
It was very shticky.
It was
Much
very-
like the show is quite shticky.
But that was fun to be able to get dressed up. I put myself and Strum in little suits, and we got little cards that the Greenbergs gave us. But shout out to Alex and Daniel, because there were
Big
two other
shout
people
out.
I left there. I'm like, they're my friends now. Like I
Yes.
really really like those two. Like so much.
Agreed.
Just so much admiration for them, and they're just cool and fun and easy to talk to, and yeah, they were awesome. But anyway, they gave us little presenter cards, and it's like, so you got the envelope, and it's like closed, sealed with a little wax seal, like Robin Hood might, and or that era. Sorry.
And we each got one, so we at the end of our skit had to race to see who could open theirs first, which we kind of just made up on the spot right there, didn't we?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly.
Just like, yeah, it worked well. And you got it first, and he grabbed the microphone.
It was
It's
cool
so
having
funny.
you get your lines printed on the envelope. Like I didn't know that's what they've been doing this whole time at award shows. So they have their lines like right in front of them there. And then
Yeah, I had no idea.
they hold the envelope all strategically. You thought they were showing off them opening it, but they're just hiding the lines from the audience. It's great. Love that behind the curtain stuff. But yeah, that was cool. And that night, the Hall of Fame awards were given out, so we got to see like Tom Hardwich get an award, which I was stoked about. Meredith Grant getting an award. Those two, I just wanted them both to win something.
Yeah, me too.
Anything kind of vibe. So I was so stoked that they both won, because they were amazing people. Love Meredith to death, man. She's so cool. Everybody,
She was great.
Please buy Perfect Tides, because she's just
And the second
awesome.
one will be coming soon too, and it's going to
Yeah.
be beautiful. I like that there is no game wrong to mention one for best villain, because that's
He did a
one of
great job
Jacob's
with it.
favorite games, and he's played it
Right.
over and over and over. So
And he did like a fun little video too, because you couldn't
did.
make it, but his video was fun. It was
it was
sticky
very
as
meta.
fuck. Right. Yeah,
And you guys will all be able to watch this. It'll come online, and it'll be a whole thing.
yeah, exactly. Be able to see Adventure Game Geek got to give Ken and Roberta an award, which I thought was really cool, especially for Geek, because he's like, King's Quest is his thing, So it's like it was really fitting, and yeah, it's just a really cool night. So that was the award show. God, what else we got? Then we have Sunday. Let's do it that way.
And then we have Sunday, because on Sunday, after we got there. Now, I just want to take a minute to shout out the Computer Museum at this event, because I have to say, and I mean, there's a few people that were involved in making it happen. I think Nathan, Roberta, and a whole bunch of other people I don't know, but I've never seen anything like it in my life. Not only did we have museums and displays of current big box games, I was able to contribute a few Tex Murphy games myself, a Pandora Directive and the book, and Under a Killing Moon and Martian Memorandum. But, okay, so outside of every big box game you could possibly imagine, signed and otherwise, they had all these old retro computers set up to play the games right on them. Like, they had Quest for Glory 5 on an Apple. They had Commodores, and they had, just... I've never seen anything like it. Have you ever seen anything like it? And every single one of them was set up with classic, like, Sierra games and stuff. It was a giant room.
Yeah. No, it was insane. I think I've never seen anything like it.
No, it's true. It was just so cool. And you could sit at any one of the computers and play the games that were on it, and they had staff working in the room. And it was just it was a room that I wanted to spend so much more time in. But between the stuff in the booth and everything else, all I got a chance to do was spend about 20 minutes with Quest for Glory 5. But it was very satisfying.
Yeah, same. I heard somebody making a phone call, and they were just like, yeah, dude, I just got to play Mystery House on an Apple II. Or whatever it is. And yeah, just hearing that alone was cool. It's like, I like the idea of that. I'm happy. I like that for him. That guy, whoever he was, got to do that. It sounds cool. I don't need it, but it sounds cool. Like if I had a whole week there, I would have. Kind of thing. But yeah. All right. So Sunday's here. I did a pixel panel. That was super fun with Tom
That was a
Hardwich
busy one.
and Meredith Gran and Julia Minamata, and that was really a good time. We talked about pixel stuff. Actually, I think I can link that in the description. I'll do that. I'll link both of our panels in the thing.
Okay.
And then you guys could check them out because they were worth watching. If you listen to this, then you'd probably listen to that. Half of you would.
Yeah.
We'd
Well, if
lose
you like
half
the
of you on
Tom
the way there,
episode
which is
too.
fair.
Because Tom was on the show and they talked preliminarily about some of these things. And it turns out you guys didn't have to recycle any of the information you had talked about on the podcast episode, and it was all brand new.
Pretty much, yeah. That would be, I guess, interesting from the audience, from our listeners' point of view. You guys could listen to our episode with Tom, which is a recent one, like 3 ago, and then the panel, and then you could see it prophetically coming to life as we loosely, because our episode is almost a rehearsal, I guess, of what the panel turned out to be. And it was super fun. And what else is to say about that? I don't think anything.
It went really well. Paul moderated it really well. He had really great questions, and the questions were really well divided up. I think a difficult thing to do during panels is to give everybody adequate time to talk. Not only were you able to guide the group in that way, but you were also able to put in your own information. You were like running the panel and guesting the panel all at the same time in a very efficient manner. It was really satisfying to watch.
Oh, thank you for that. I guess I'll take a little bit of credit away from myself and say that it helped that all 4 of us had wildly different art styles, right? So it's like it kind of organized itself nicely in that regard, because you have Meredith Gren, who has perfect tides, and her art style is very like higher resolution cartoony. So like I don't know, Willie Beamish, Humongous. Yeah, Humongous is maybe what comes to mind the most, like Pajama Sam, you know, like just, and high resolution in the sense there's just a lot of pixels in the cartoony style, and then Julia's doing the EGA Colonel's Bequest kind of vibe, and well, not kind of vibe, but vibe, and Tom Hardwidge is the hardest to compare something to. I guess Thimbleweed Park would be sort of close. He doesn't mess with too much lighting, but he does the big head thing like from Maniac Mansion in Thimbleweed Park. Whatever. The point is that we all had different resolutions and styles, so it really lended itself nicely to that kind of discussion, because it's like...
And Paul has the big chonky pixels.
Big old chonky ones, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, the panel went good. Oh, I did... Maybe for anybody listening who's curious what the fuck that was about, I did play The Time of Our Life during the panel, because I don't know why. I don't know. I was putting the slideshow together, and I was like, wouldn't it be funny if we had The Time of Our Life started to play, because I feel like that song belongs in slideshows, you know, like everybody in an auditorium and the slideshow plays, and it's like we had The Time of Our Life plays.
So Daniel is like, what the hell, trying to turn down the song. Nobody knows where it's coming from. Paul's just sitting there going, yep, this is exactly what's supposed to happen.
This is the chaos that and it was also a good little, hey, it's been 40 minutes marker to myself, you know. I'm like, oh, okay, good, it's been 40 minutes.
Because it wasn't just a clip of the song, it was like the song.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I don't know, maybe I should, in hindsight, well, no, I'm glad I didn't tell anybody, but but the little trickster in me is like, there's a 50-50 chance that the volume won't be up on the computer anyway, which is probably true. It just landed on the other side of 50, and it played, and it was very funny and chaotic, and Tom did a great job singing the song, and laughs were maybe had. And then
I got to take the microphone around, which I had a lot of fun with, because I learned the technique. You go and you get a person to ask a question, and then while the question's getting answered, you look for another person to ask a question, and then you're standing there ready for the next question. And I got to do that for a couple of panels. And I wanted to do that for your other panel, the Summer Days panel, but they didn't have enough microphones.
Yeah, well, no, it was lovely that you did that, because it was like you jumped right into co-host mode, podcast-wise. It felt very just familiar and comfortable. Like, okay, Anna's going to take questions from the crowd. And one of the questions was nice because it helped me to articulate something to myself that I didn't understand. And it came from Guybrush. It was Dominic Armando's question. But I was like, yes, I will take your question, sir. Yeah, it's so weird being, again, surreal being asked questions, like, you know, from somebody like him. You know, just about like low resolution portraits in Pixar, and I was like, you know, I know that I'm a better writer than artist. Not saying I'm good at either, but I'm definitely better at writing than as an artist. So I'd rather get the emotion across with words than through art, because that's where I you know, have an easier time with it or whatever. And it was just one of those moments where I'm like, yeah, that was actually quite helpful to me going forward to know that, and to be asked it from Guybrush, which is trippy as hell. And I wanted to go somewhere else with that, but I'm losing it. All right.
That's all right. But right after that panel, there was the Tex Murphy one with Aaron Connors. And I was excited because I brought my Pandora directive book and they talked about future things they were going to do. And I'm not bringing up all of them. The reason I'm bringing this one up is because I got to hold the microphone. And it was fun. That's all. But the Space Quest historian hosted it and, as always, does an amazing job with these panels.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. And then we did I did the panel with the Coles, because I'd done a little bit of music for them, like when Summer Days first started, and I just found out this weekend from Corey Cole that some of that music is in the game. I didn't know that, and obviously I haven't. Besides for these episodes, I haven't stopped to play games since I've been in development myself, so I didn't know that my music was in Summer Days. So I'm definitely going to check that out soon. But at least that removes some of the imposter syndrome as far as me being a part of that panel to begin with. Which was hosted by Geek, who did an awesome job, and it was super fun and super chill because we know, and anybody listening who's listened to our episodes with the Coles, you just let Corey go, just set him free, and Lori too, because they're both good storytellers, and they fill the space, man. So that was good. And then we kind of wrapped it up, and I think.
Oh right, but that speedrun panel, I just have to take take a moment to just mention that One Short Eye and Julia did a speedrunning panel, and One Short Eye ran through some games on the speedrun, and it was just about the best panel I've ever seen. It was definitely the best panel. Ours was great, but you know what? They had the whole audience going. People were laughing. People were like when he was doing the Dagger of Amon-Ra and that. Anyways, totally go watch it online. There was a video to go with it, and it was just an absolute blast. 45 minutes went by in a speedrunning second. So
yeah, no, he crushed it. He absolutely, and it was fun in the sense too where we've immediately gotten used to speedrunning to a degree just from watching his videos, but for everybody in the audience, or a lot of the majority of the audience who had no idea that adventure games were being speedrun, it was fun experiencing it for the first time through them. Like their just amusement at like, holy shit, he just finished King's Quest 6 in 4 minutes, and he would take little breaks to stop and explain what was going on, and it was like watching a live One Short Eye video. The way he set it out was brilliant. Like instead of him like actually doing a speed run, like I think he did it was a much smarter decision to do it that way, where it's like you get little glimpses of the speed run, so you can be impressed and see what goes into it, as far as like zipping around the screen and such. But then to actually stop and explain what was going on, he crushed it. That was.
Oh yeah, and he's like, this is really hard. I might not be able to do it. Then he does it, and everyone's just like, woo!
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, he crushed it. That was super good. So, and then there was the sign off. Do you want to mention any runnings in with the alumni before we start to wrap here?
Well, I mean, I somebody else gave my King's Quest boxes to Ken Williams to sign because I had to do something else when he was signing, and then I had a chance to talk to Roberta briefly, and she signed some of my boxes, and we've already had her on the podcast, so I've kind of already said a lot of the things I wanted to say. So we talked about the San Juan Islands, we talked about her boat, we talked about her trip there, and we just talked about mundane every other day kind of stuff, and I don't know, it was really nice. I didn't get much of a chance to talk to Al Lowe. I've met him a few other times, but every time I went by, he seemed to be in such a deep, cool conversation with somebody that I didn't dare interrupt. But it was lovely, really. The whole event was amazing.
Yeah, I didn't get to talk to Al Lowe either. I got to play with him, but I didn't actually get to really talk to him.
No, not a conversation, man. And I had my Larry 7 box to sign, but I did get Mark Crow's signature on my Leisure Suit Larry 1 box, his picture's on the back, and then he signed my Leisure Suit Larry napkin because it turns out Mark is the one that did the design on that napkin. He said, call me on it. So and then I got them to sign my Space Quest 1 as well.
Very cool. Yeah, Mark was the one that I got flustered over. Like he was definitely.
He's a mythical figure, man.
Yeah, that was I think part of it too, because he's and it's I don't know, but not only is Space Quest stand out for me as like favorite series and but just like art wise, like he's got to be my favorite pixel artist. Like I would have to. There's some amazing modern ones that have had an effect on me, like Octavian Navarro and Ben Chandler and stuff. But it's like the pixel art exists because of him and like limited palette work and then like he wrote the Sierra fanfare. Like I think a lot of people don't even realize that. So he wrote the Sierra theme. He designed the Sierra logo. Like so he's like I mean, he's really deeply imprinted in just
Legendary, man.
yeah, exactly. So it's
I
quite
kept seeing him and just going, "Hi, Mark,"
right,
as if
right.
it was a normal thing that you would do in real life.
Yeah.
Like, hi.
I got to do that to Ken Allen. I was like, "Hi, Ken Allen." Like, it's just weird to say that. And I got sent out to. I was supposed to go get Trolls and I think Mick and Eric for something. And I was like the thing was starting, so I got rushed out into the hallway, and everybody had went into the thing for the panel. So the hallway was completely empty except for me and Ken Williams, who just locked eyes with me and walks towards me. And I was like, everybody's going to be late because I'm gonna have this conversation with Ken Williams. This is so weird because he had just gotten done like the autograph thing where there was like a line of people and it would took 45 minutes to like get up to him sort of thing. And I just caught him at the end of that and everybody disappeared and it was just like him and I in the hallway. And so that was surreal, just being able to stop and chat with him for a while. And I got to, then the next day I got to like kind of meet him again more in like a fanboy sense and meet Roberta and I forced Drummer to meet them both and take pictures with us. And
Be impressed with this kid. Be impressed.
yeah, exactly. And yeah, all that was just amazing. And Robert Holmes was really, really cool. I got to talk to him about synths and just, yeah, it was super fun. I think I'm out of stories besides just like vague recollections at this point. So I'm done when you are. Hey guys, I'm gonna go ahead and cut in after Anna's little tee-hee there, which was adorable. We had some technical problems that I just see now trying to edit this, so I'm just patching our ending in. Anna was coming at us live. She's still in the States. She's still not home. So thank you very much to her for doing this. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a bit of a throwaway episode. We wanted to get something out there because we'd already missed a week, and honestly, if we hadn't just cashed that in, we probably would have used a get out of jail free card on this week, but we want to give you something. It's a little bit of recap. We'll be back with our normal shenanigans next time. But now I'm going to say the things that we say at the end towards you. So check us out on Twitter at CGG Podcast, at Phantom Fellows. We're a page in a group on Facebook, the Classic Gamers Guild. We're also on Instagram probably and YouTube for some reason. Send us a mail. We have a new email. So if you've emailed us in the last 2 months, please send it again because I don't want your time to have been in vain on whatever email you might have written 6 weeks ago that we didn't get. We had a problem with our email server. I'm just going to say words like host, client, billing, and I don't know, billing doesn't fit. Look, we're seeing other email providers is what's happening. So you can email us now, mail@cggpodcast.com. And it actually makes more sense because that's our website anyway, CGG Podcast. So now it's mail@cggpodcast. I'm struggling with my G's. I'm a little dry mouth right now. I'm parched. Anyway, email us there. Check us out on Patreon. And a huge thank you to our people in that tier that Anna renamed recently that I don't remember. It's something like Biebery, I feel like. It's like the believers tier or something. I wish I didn't associate that word with him being a 40-year-old man, but I do. So, right. So huge thank you to Gareth. I'm going to single out Gareth and Mick because we just got to meet them and hang out with them. And I love you guys both very much. And I really mean that, or else I would have just been like, thank you guys, blah, blah, blah. But you guys are amazing. And it was so much fun to hang out with you guys. So thank you very much to Gareth, Suit, Larry. I guess it would make more sense to say like Leisure Suit, Gareth, whatever. And Michael Council, I think he prefers Mick, though. I just went all the way across the country to verify that. That's not true. Washington's pretty close to Colorado. Whatever. Also, a huge thank you to Brian Manon. Check out Death Defying's music, which I still love. Brian, you're awesome. Jeffrey Couch, Mark Fillion, and Tim Ellis. Hey, guys. Thank you very much for your support. And everybody else on Patreon, thank you, guys. We really appreciate and love you guys and other things. I think that's it. I really kind of bum rushed to the end here, and now it's over. There's nothing else to say. So I'm gonna link the panel below. I can't find Hannah's panel, so I don't know what's gonna be linked in the description. You're gonna have the usual stuff from our Adventure Game Hotspot Network friends, network members, link below or whatever. And I'm definitely gonna link at least the Pixel panel with the timestamp. But I probably didn't find Anna's in the time because it is Monday close to evening. I gotta get this. We gotta get this out there. Tomorrow's our big day. Lunchbox, please. I'm saying goodbye. So thank you everybody for listening. And don't do murder.